interactive program designed to encourage a healthy living. I am Mary Joseph. Please do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at Spectrum TV, or you could visit our website at spectrumtv.ng. Sexual and gender-based violence is one topic that has gained a lot of attention over the past few years. It is a common social problem in Nigeria, especially in the northern part of Nigeria, as there have been an increase in the cases of domestic violence, sexual exploitation, forced early marriage, and rape of minors since the spate of insurgency in the country. According to the World Health Organization, violence against women or sexual violence is a major public health problem and a violation of women's human rights. Estimates by World Health Organization indicate partner violence or non-partner sexual violence in their lifetime. Recently, the United Nations declared sexual and gender-based violence, SGBV, as a shadow pandemic while calling for urgent, comprehensive and effective actions by duty bearers to curb the menace. But despite the creation of policies and laws so as to stem the tide, sexual and gender-based violence is still prevalent in our society. Well, today on Wellbeing, we will be taking a look at first the progress we as a country have made so far in this fight, and today's episode of Wellbeing, we will be talking a lot on how this menace could be reduced. I have my guest who is going to be highlighting some of the progress we have made so far and what are indeed the measures put in place by relevant authorities to this regard. But before then, let us quickly take this short break. We'll be right back.
Good health, they say, is something you can't buy. But the decision to live healthy is a choice that you have to make. Join health practitioners from diverse health fields as they provide you with vital information. Wellbeing airs every Monday, 7 to 7:30 p.m. only on Spectrum TV.
You're welcome back to the show. It's still the program Wellbeing, your wellness talk show that is designed to keep you health conscious. Do remember to follow us on all our social media handles at Spectrum TV, or you could visit our website at spectrumtv.ng to be a part of the family. As part of efforts to end sexual and gender-based violence and to promote inclusive participation, to also ensure that Nigerian stakeholders, relevant agencies and partners across the country, all in solidarity, carried out a 16 days activism against gender-based violence against women and girls. It is an international civil society-led campaign that takes place each year on November 25th, the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, and ends on December 10th. That is the Human Rights Day, indicating that violence against women is the most pervasive breach of human rights worldwide. Data recorded by the Nigerian Demographic and Health Survey about 2022, about 335 people in Nigeria reported experiencing various types of sexual and gender-based violence between January and April 2022. And these victims experienced various forms of violence, including spousal abuse, physical assault, and sexual abuse, with the Northeast and Southeast having the lowest SGBV reports compared to other zones. This in many parts of Nigeria due to their deeply ingrained cultural and religious beliefs. Nigeria appears to be at the forefront of the fight against violence against women and girls, but yet there are still some stones that are left unturned, as most incidences of sexual assault go unreported to the authorities due to various reasons. My guest is a publicist working with the Center for Clinical Care and Clinical Research, and on this interview, he highlighted some of the implications in our society.
My name is Dr. Nama Stanley Michael. I'm the HIV care and support specialist for ICSA1, CCCRN. ICSA1 is the project Integrated Child Health and Social Service Award 1.
Let's take a look at the 16 days activism against gender-based violence. This movement has gained a lot of momentum over the years, but one would ask, what
is a campaign WHO, World Health Organization, saw that we have to move the campaign to every crannies of the world for people to know that the violence against women and children is not doing us any good. So it starts from 25th of November, which is generally International Day for elimination of violence against women and children, and then spans through 10th of December, which also mark the Human Rights Day. So these two dates is significant to show that the violence against women is something that we need to stop if we really want to get things right, especially young girls and children. So I think that is what spurred this campaign, because if you want to get these things right, we need to stop the abuse, we need to stop the stigmatization, we need to stop the other attitude that is not supporting women and children in the society.
Okay, so now let's look at how prevalent sexual and gender-based violence is in our society.
Okay, so show that one in every 3 women is subjected to sexual violence or any other form of violence. It also showed that out of the 30% of the general population, if you do the calculation, you know what it means, that 30% of the general population of 200 million Nigerians, women, are subjected to violence. So the prevalence rate is quite high, and that is why we need to look into it. There's also a study done by CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, which showed that it studied about 15 countries, and Nigeria having about 36 for children, women and children violence, and then just 14 for men, which is just those people that came out to speak when maybe one woman is violated, and they come and say that men are also violated too. So we need to know that the violence against women and
responsible for this.
Okay, so some of the factors responsible for this is inability for societal values, inability for the society to listen to the victims. Then the victims' fear of saying, look at this is what happened to us. Then again, most of the perpetrators are respected in the society, so nobody talks to them. Then again, of course, you know that the victims are traumatized, and then chasing legal times to this will also cause a re-traumatization to those effects, and because of this, they don't come out to say it, and the perpetrators knows that these are the reasons, and those people, the victims, violators, will not come to say that this is what happened, and they go ahead to keep on doing it because they know that nobody speaks about it. They saw abuses and all of that. If a woman talks about that she was raped, maybe the fiancé may say, I don't want to marry a raped victim, or the father may become her and say, don't say anything like that again. I don't want your suitors to hear that you are being raped. And because of that, these things keep on happening and happening again. So these are the main causes of this gender and sexual violence. Of course, the theme for this year's World AIDS Day is also to equalize. And the theme for this year's also gender-based violence campaign is to unite. So if you look at the two, you now discover that it's because the segregation against this gender, be it people of different group, like sexual orientations, different sexual orientation like homosexuality, bisexuality, cross-dressers, and men that have sex with men, and those people with gender identity, they don't feel that they identify with this particular gender. So the disparity in accepting them in the society tends to make the health implications go higher. Like sometimes somebody that has sex with men, MSM, may come down with pile or anal prolapse, or then go to the hospital for an emergency, and they will be asking, what is the problem? It cannot are brutalized at their homes. In so many cases, They have come to our clinic in ENT clinic. They can't hear with hearing loss. And when you be asking them, what is the problem? They cannot even tell you. The woman will just start weeping. You already know. So there is a lot of health implications to this. And until it is nipped in the bud, it will not stop. Both in children too, children and girls, you find out that most parents, they don't care because they are women. You see them, most times they will not even go to school. They will not learn sexual behaviors. They will not learn the things they need to avoid. They concentrate on the male children, the people that they believe that will keep the family growing, and they leave the girls. They will not go to school. They will tell the girls to drop out from school for the first child, which is a male child, to go to school. So them, they are not devoid to just go about in the society, and they come down with STI, STDs, and maybe eventually HIV and AIDS. And when they also have the HIV and AIDS, they will not come out to speak because they are female, and they will not allow them to maybe the ones that are married already will also tell their husband that they have this thing, and they will keep on deteriorating to the point of death. So it's really, really a problem in health.
Okay. Now, moving over to reproductive health and also mental health, how, what's the impact in all of this?
Tends to, most people neglect it. You come and tell you see boyfriends or husbands telling their wife, you're ugly, you're fat, you're this, you're that, and then dealing with it. That's emotional and psychological violence. That's emotional and psychological violence, and people tend to disregard that. It has done a lot of bad to our society. You see women, they lose their self-esteem. They would have gone higher than what they are, but because of how they place them, how they violate them emotionally and all of that, they feel so withdrawn. They will not give in to what they need in the society. Of course, we know the population of women in the society, but because of these things, they keep on shying away. And sometimes the country will not move forward. There are some things they will need to do and support. They will not go ahead and do it because they are emotionally drained. They cannot come out. They are lost their self-esteem and all of that. And so
stigmatization has remained one of the contributing factors to this violence, and most persons who are victims of this violence, they shy away from speaking up, reporting all of these cases. So I'd like to ask, what has been done to ensure those persons, those victims who have suffered from gender-based violence or sexual gender-based violence in any form, to not die in silence?
okay, so there is what we call first line support. First line support. So you tend to listen to them, believe them when no one else believes them, and then inquire to know what really caused the problem they are having, how it started, without being judgmental about it. Then you validate what they say by believing them, because you already know that it's happening, instead of telling them that it's because of how you dressed that make them to violate you and all of that. And then you engage them properly, and then you support them. So in most instances, this has helped to help them. Is in fact is most valuable treatment given to them, because most time nobody believes them. And when they come to talk about it in the society for female, what you hear is that men are raped too, men are violated too, why not speaking? So, but if men are violated too, like we all may know, why is it that you're not saying it until it is time for a woman to report about rape or abuse? That's when you say it. So because of that, they tend to shy away. Then a lot of other things is that we encourage them to so that they will be acquainted with what is happening, and it will help them with their growth.
Okay, so you mentioned something about some of these perpetrators who are respected in the society, and the victims or families of the victims shy away from reporting some of these acts. Now, there's an issue which is low conviction rates, which is actually one of the fueling factors to gender-based violence. Now, in your own opinion, what should be done for us to carry out these report these cases so that we can nip this in the bud?
So that's good. So what we are doing is that, like CCCRN, Center for Clinical Care and Clinical Research of Nigeria, what we do is that we have um, social and behavioral change campaigns, and we have I'm Safer, we have gender campaigns. So it's through these campaigns that we have tried to train and educate the society at large, taking it to the creeks and the hinterlands, letting them know that these are the dangers and this is how to the danger signs they need to see when their children are going out with their uncles or neighbors and all of that, the things they need to know, and the dangers it's posing to the society. So we try to pass in that in notifying the public. So I think campaigning is the best, because sometimes the perpetrators are high placed in the society. They are in the politics, and of course, you know that it's the politicians that make the laws that governs the land. And when they are the perpetrators, they always get away with it. So the only thing is to equip the survivors or the victims, so that the next occurrence will not occur, and the people that have not been maligned will not fall into their traps.
Okay, now let's look at Akwa Ibom State as a case study. What has been the success rate so far in terms of
Akwa Ibom State is one of the states that is moving the campaign. So as late as 2020, they even did SSG of this present government did a campaign down to Umbo, starting from Umbo down to Uyo here, in collaboration with the First Lady. So First Lady has been so helpful with the Ministry of Women Affairs in collaboration with CCCRN. You will see the banners everywhere. CCCRN is almost the one championing the campaign all the while. And the First Lady has been so wonderful. She comes out to join us to do this. And early last year, they passed a law which our gender advisor was part of. He read out the laws and then they agreed to assent to the law. And it's just waiting for the final signing by the governor. The House of Assembly have accepted the act that is going to be on, and they have a lot of reporting channels in all the general hospitals in the state agencies.
Because they are one arm of the government that we really need in this fight. So have there been any collaboration with law enforcement?
Yes, most of our campaigns will take it to their office, and then during the signing of the act for violence against children and girls in the states, they were part of it. Most of the perpetrators, they have been that were either caught in the act or reported. We first of all report to the police and they go ahead, but I wouldn't say that we have a particular unit just like Lagos State where you go to lodge the campaign, your report in the police station, but they have been so helpful. Whenever you call them for maybe arrest, then that will need to follow up, they always come, but we don't have a answer.
Okay, so what would be your advice to fellow Nigerians? You know, we've been through the COVID-19 lockdown measures that spiked the rise of all of this, coupled with the insecurity and economic challenges that we face here in Nigeria. What can we do as citizens to tackle this menace?
So the things we can do is I have 5 things to say that we need to do to tackle this menace. First of all is we need to believe them. We need to believe the story they are telling. Most times, one of the challenges we have is that we don't believe the victims when they are saying it, especially when it's coming from maybe an uncle, a neighbor. Support, give them professional support at all times. Then understand their situation, and then know where to direct them to get help, like Ministry of Health, FIDA, and other NGOs that is doing that. Then talk to your kids. Start early to train them, tell them the danger signs, how to emulate, because of course Nigeria family is the first government. That's where they start growing. Then again, inculcate those teachings in schools. The government should inculcate those teachings in schools. in secondary school. So if those syllables are reviewed and then the children and the people at large will be aware of what is happening, and by like this we can curtail the menace.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So that was Lee Michael, a public health specialist working with the Center for Clinical Research, and we were talking about the implications of sexual and gender-based violence in our society, and he went a part of the show. Remember that you could also be a part of the family by following us on all our social media platforms at Spectrum TV, or you could visit our website at spectrumtv.ng. Join us next week for another edition of Wellbeing. My name is Mary Joseph. Do enjoy the rest of your day.